What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be doing a spoiler-free review of The Platform that just hit Netflix for the streaming service. So let's get right into it. So I know that we're all locked down for the most part, hopefully to be able to sustain our own selves and care for one another. The Platform just released, coincidentally, during this entire pandemic. A little too on the nose and apropos as to why this came out at this time. This movie is a philosophical horror thriller. There's a lot going on there. The Platform is also known as El Hoyo, meaning the hole, which this story revolves around a vertical prison where two people are put on each level of multiple different levels in this prison, and each day they are given one chance for a couple of minutes to eat from food that is placed on this platform that descends through all the different levels of this prison. All of the food starts at the top and then gets filtered down through all the different floors. So you only get to eat once, and that food starts to disappear as it goes lower and lower and lower. A lot of people are eating other people's food. If you thought that that was all it was about, you would be absolutely 100% wrong. This movie was directed by Galder, and I'm going to say this wrong and probably butcher it, Galder Gaztelu-Urrutia, who produced, and this is also his first feature film. He's done a couple of shorts and done some production elsewhere, but this is his first directorial feature film. This movie was, of course, released at film festivals last year, so technically it's a 2019 film, but only released now to the Netflix streaming service for us to see it now. Now, the story was actually written as a play by David DeSola, who intentionally wanted to make it a play, but it never actually was able to get to be a play and was picked up to become a feature film and was helped written by Pedro Rivero, who turned it into a screenplay for this film. If I had to compare it loosely, I would say it's like Cube meets Snowpiercer. In fact, a lot of people are actually calling this film the vertical Snowpiercer film, a philosophical take on class, politics, humanity, and capitalism. So for those of you who are not too keen about having some sort of political message in your horror, this may not be for you, but I don't think that means that you should not watch it. In fact, I think you should, regardless of your political affiliation. I mean, if we look at horror, it's always mirrored stuff like this in the past. We got Dawn of the Dead with consumerism. We got Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the original one that was made during the Cold War era, and the Red Scare, which, you know, people thought, hey, this could be one of those guys in the middle of everything. So this movie came out naturally as a fear or xenophobic fear or some sort of fear of the bad guys. Then we also have things like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I mean, that story has two different parables to it, playing God and also social rejection. So to me, horror films have always had this, and it doesn't bother me. There's plenty of other films that I could name off with many other messages, but you get the point. Now, I wouldn't necessarily consider this to be like the pinnacle of horror, but it definitely does deal with some of the things that you will find in a horror film, and it will be appealing to those who are into horror films, specifically those who don't mind traipsing through a little bit of a thriller from time to time. Like I mentioned, it is kind of similar to Cube in that there is some gore in there, and it goes there. Plus, it's also dealing with a thrill that you're going to experience from start to finish as this story and plot unfolds. Obviously, it's going to have some heavy metaphors in this, so for people who are looking to dig through different layers of meanings and things like that, this is perfect for you. The acting in this film was really good. Now, on Netflix, you can choose to listen to this film in a dubbed version, but I opted for the European Spanish audio so that I could really take in the acting of these characters and put on the English subtitles. I highly recommend that for you because it could be something as simple as them calling it the hole or the pit. The movie is called El Hoyo, which means the hole, but in the audio dub, they call it the pit. Just a small example. You might miss out on some of the translation by watching it in dubbed is all I'm saying. It is a Spanish spoken film, and I think it's a really amazing one. Like, this is a very good outcome for a very small budget film with a high concept. There's gore, there's messages, there's things that make you think about how you would feel and if you were put in this situation. It really poses a really good question for people, and I think that's a really good sign for a very good film. Kind of blown away by this film. I know that it's not going to be for everyone, but it really is kind of interesting to look at the different classes in society and kind of understand like where everybody gets things and how it is easier for others to maybe survive or exist than it is for others. And it kind of shows you all of those characters in humanity and society and politics, whatever you want to call it. Every type of idealist, every type of pure capitalist, like anything you can think of. And I'm sorry, I can't help but talk a little bit about politics in this because it does pose that question and kind of lets you see everybody for what it is. And it's not telling you exactly which one is who. It's letting you decide that. And I hope people actually get to see it because I was blown away by it. I honestly think this is like a 9 out of 10, not only just because of the budget they have, for the high concept that they did, the direction that they did, the acting, the fucking gore, the fucking tension, the everything. It's just chock full of so much, and I couldn't ask for anything more from this film. Now, the ending may be up in the air for some people, but that's up to you because maybe you'll take away something from it more than other people, or vice versa. Have you guys seen the movie on Netflix yet? I highly recommend that you go check it out, especially during the situation that we're having with the coronavirus. It's a really interesting concept, and I think you'll enjoy it. Even if you don't see any of the message that I'm talking about, I still think as a straightforward film, you can appreciate it. But for those who do see those messages in there and can pick apart it for themselves, it'll be fucking amazing. But what do you guys think? Have you fired it up on Netflix yet? Are you going to add it to your watch list? What are you going to do with this film? I'd love to hear what you think about this film in the comments down below, whether you've seen it or not. It's not going to be for everybody, but hey, not all of them can. I hope you enjoyed this review. And if you haven't already, please hit like and subscribe on the channel so that you can find more reviews just like this in the future in horror. Thanks for coming by, guys, and as always, long live the void.